But I'll let you know here as soon as it comes up.
Okay.
And you're on.
Hey, welcome everybody. This will be the webinar kind of talking about our Augmented and Virtual Reality Academy at the Urban Campus, and then also promoting the exciting summer course that we'll be offering this summer. So I'm going to get my presentation pulled up. Okay. And I believe I have it going. Um, yeah, so today I'll be introducing myself, going over kind of what was augmented and virtual reality, um, what we do at the AVR Academy, and then digging a little deeper into what to expect from the AVR 102 class we'll be offering. So start off, my name is Tyler Halterman. I uh, I have a background in graphic arts. I've worked for the last 5 years. I've worked with graphic design. Running a couple printing businesses, and then also the last 2 years I've been working in virtual reality. I myself took the virtual reality academy, and then I got a job for Victory XR, where I got to create a lot of really interesting educational AR and VR applications that kind of led me into wanting to kind of get on the more teaching side of the AVR. So we'll start off by talking about what is AR and VR. And this is a really simple graph that I like to use to explain what is augmented and virtual reality. So on the far left of this graph, you'll see we have real reality. That's everyday life. And so that's completely the real world with no filters, nothing overlaid. And then now if we jump to the far opposite side of the spectrum, we're looking at virtual reality. So virtual reality is where you are completely immersed in a virtual digital world. Um, and so then if you were to scale back a little bit, you have your real reality, and then you have some computer graphics overlaid on top of your real reality. That's where you get into this augmented reality and mixed reality field. So, so augmented reality, kind of like I explained, that's where it's kind of a mixture of the two. A really easy way to describe it is, it's like imagine like having some kind of magnifying glass, and anything you see on that glass is computer generated, and you're looking at the real world through this looking glass, and you're seeing the computer generated images overlaid onto your real world. So a real easy example is Pokemon Go. 2016 rolled around, and everybody just was absolutely amazed by this new application, Pokemon Go, where you could search around for Pokemon and catch them. But then the interesting part of this was that it was all done with AR, so you can actually see the Pokemon in your park. You can see it in your front yard, in your living room. This was done with augmented reality, and so this really kind of helped bring in the awareness of AR and how it can be used. Um, and so really, I say the reason this is so popular is because it's so easy to access. Really, anybody who has a phone from that was made in the last 4 to 5 years will have the ability to access augmented reality. So, and that made it really easy for anyone who, to pull out a pocket, search the world, or whether it be some kind of QR code, you can use augmented reality that way as well. So some other popular uses would be retail. If you want to search around for, perhaps you're searching through IKEA, and on your phone app, you want to see how that desk looks in your office, you can just overlay that computer generated desk right into your office, see how it works. And something else is education. And this is where I really, I use augmented reality the most. It's really great because students can, uh, every student seems like has phones nowadays. And a lot of times I know teachers, my wife's a teacher, and she says oftentimes she is trying to get her kids to put the phones away because during class they're gonna have the phones out. And so with that in mind, why not use that distraction to become a learning tool? And that's where you see the educational apps really kind of become super helpful in engaging the students in ways that they had not been engaged before. So what I'm going to share with you right here is an application I made while I was at Victory.
I'm Frederick Douglass, abolitionist, public speaker, and statesman who began my life as a slave. I dedicated my life to push for equality and human rights for all until my death in 1895.
We are so excited to introduce our Journey for Civil Rights Augmented Reality School Exhibit.
When I looked at them, it was just better because, for me, it's better because I don't really like using textbooks. I know my peers and my family and we all don't like using textbooks, so I think this is a really good idea in educational wise. I think this is fantastic.
When our group was going through, even adults were starting to notice and they wanted to try. So it was definitely engaging and kind of intrigued everybody else to want to go and do it too. And it's just really exciting to see it come to life versus just being told something.
So the way technology is, I mean, phones are so powerful anymore, and students really do engage best with technology nowadays. So I think that having a digital way of teaching them, something they can interact with is really beneficial.
I learned a lot. There's like 12 people in here, and I learned that those people have a great history that we can learn and take a moral from their story.
We chose 12 luminaries and created a portrait for each one that can hang in a library, in a hallway, or a wall in a school. Then students can download a free app to their iPhone or their Android. And when they hold that app up to that portrait, the portrait comes alive. And that particular luminary, whether it's Rosa Parks, or Ruby Bridges, or Martin Luther King, or Harriet Tubman, they begin telling their story, their piece of that journey. It's a great way to celebrate Black History Month, or for that matter, any month.
Okay, so that's one way. Let me get back to.
Welcome to the Victory VR Science Classroom.
Okay, so that is just one way that we're able to engage students. For that example, during Black History Month, having an AR exhibit. So almost like having a exhibit you can walk through and just interact with these pieces individually. So what I'm going to show you next is just another way that AR is being used. So let's see if I can get my webcam to cooperate. Okay. So what I have here is a book that was created during my time at Victory. And if you're to look at this book, it looks pretty basic. I mean, it's an interesting book. It has your your typical kind of information and your typical size charts, some fun facts, some real quick pointers, which is that's really definitely it can get students some education that they need. But what makes this book unique is the AR component of it. So pardon me for the shaky camera. Let me see. So as you can see here, I have an AR app that now I can scan a page. So what I can do here, if you see my phone, is I will scan a page and you'll see that dinosaur actually starts walking on the page right over where the AR marker is. So that's the target itself. And so the cool thing about this is you can move around the dinosaur, and then let me find out one that's a little more engaging, perhaps. Let's go to so I do want to make sure to give credit to the people who worked on this book with me. There's Alec, who is a great programmer who came from the academy as well with me. Aaron Haggins, phenomenal artist, and Serene, fantastic artist, as well as Cody. So there's a group effort, as many of these applications are, and but yes, I think it was a really unique experience. But so here's a T-Rex. So actually might be there's some audio attached to it. My phone's not on right now, but so what you can see here though is students are now able to interact with this and walk around and get a better idea of how a T-Rex may move, with AR. And also, if you click up here, you have a tour guide who will start to talk to you about this T-Rex. And the cool thing is, and I can't show you because I'm in my office right now, but if you click this little paw at the bottom, this footprint, it will actually show you the actual scale of how large a T-Rex is. So if I were to click it, it kind of blows up, and I don't know if you can actually see it because it's way too big, but it will actually have a life scale version of the T-Rex. So that's another way that I find AR really engaging for students. So now I'm going to actually kind of touch more on the VR aspect. Let's see. Okay. So with, next we have virtual reality. So virtual reality is, like we discussed, completely being immersed in that digital world. Virtual reality is really great for really anything that does education, training, entertainment. And so there are two types of headsets. So there's the tethered ones, which are connected to a computer, and then there's the so nice about the tethers, they allow you to have a higher grade of graphics. It can just handle a little more complex graphics, whereas untethered is a standalone. So I do not know if you can see my. Let's see. All right, so here's a version of a untethered headset. This is the Oculus Quest, and the computer's right in here. So it's basically all standalone. You don't need any extra PCs. You can just take this anywhere you want to go. Great thing about that is incredibly portable. And so yeah, those are really great for certain situations, but it kind of depends on what your personal need is. So education such as perhaps a frog dissection in VR training, you might want to train someone to work some equipment, but you don't want to risk them ruin the equipment. Perhaps it's too expensive to get that equipment out of production to train somebody. And then entertainment, that's kind of what I'm going to touch here, is just entertainment. There's video games. So there's Beat Saber, where you can slice the blocks with your hands like lightsabers. If you can see on my screen down in the right hand corner, there's Creed Boxing. And so this adds a really unique angle to it, where you can your hands are the controllers and your head's actually being tracked. So if you duck, you can duck a punch. And there's a very unique way to move in VR when it comes to video games. Something I personally enjoy is I'm a big NBA fan, so I actually will oftentimes watch, if I can, I'll watch my favorite teams in virtual reality. And the cool thing about this is it's unique in a sense you can watch it from all different perspectives. You can watch it from the court side, which, you know, is something that you really would never be able to do unless you were, you know, loaded with money. But then also you can really get a really unique feeling, kind of atmosphere that you wouldn't typically get from sitting on your couch. This could be also said with concerts, with really any kind of entertainment event. You can enjoy that in VR. It's a super unique experience. So now we'll kind of touch, now that you guys have a good idea of what AR and VR is, we'll jump into what we do at the EICC, which is the AVR Academy. So this is a really kind of a one-of-a-kind of academy, right here in our home town, our home area. And so what this does is it will bring in students who have all different kinds of education. So, for example, I went in there with a bachelor's degree in art. We have a lot of students who come straight from high school. And we have some video game enthusiasts. We have people who have little programming knowledge. And some people who have a lot. And also, we have one person who come through with a doctorate degree. So, the nice thing about this is it brings all types of backgrounds together, and which really makes for a super unique experience. You'll have all kinds of strengths within all these people. And so then we are in this classroom for the full day, Monday through Thursday, which kind of simulates a real development studio. So we're there from basically 9 to 4, Monday through Thursday, working on our skills and working on real apps that in virtual and augmented reality. So here's a picture of the actual studio during project phase. The first 16 weeks, the first semester is kind of a training phase. So when you enroll into this academy, the first semester you will be learning the fundamentals and beyond. So you'll be learning kind of how to develop an app in augmented and virtual reality. So that includes, everything from programming to art, and I'll dig into that in just a moment. But then the second semester, so in the spring, you'll be divided into teams. Depending on how big your class is, you'll be divided into teams, and you'll be given a real project where you can work with real clients. And the great thing is this is essentially, it's a life lesson that you typically won't be able to get just from regular school. Because a lot of times when you're applying for a job right out of school, they'll say, okay, your resume looks great, but you don't have any real experience. And somebody else with maybe some more experience might get the job. This is real experience. This is, you're dealing with real issues with real clients, and so it gives you that edge that perhaps a traditional college would not. So a few things we teach: programming language. We use C#, and that kind of comes hand in hand with our game engine for developing in a game engine, which is Unity. And the language that Unity uses is C#. We'll teach some user interface and experience design. So that's with some Photoshop and some Illustrator. That'll help with menus and navigations and just understanding what makes a good user experience. 3D modeling, we'll be using Maya and ZBrush. That includes animation, texturing, which is how to apply the textures to the model so you can have different colors and textures on there, and that's with Photoshop and a program called Substance Painter. But then also we teach project management, and our project management tool we use is Trello, which is something that's, all these are kind of industry standards. We have gone to see what studios are actually using, what real development studios are using, and we want to really create as close to a development studio right in the classroom as we can. So that way when you get out and you graduate, you aren't going to be caught off guard with surprises. You'll feel pretty comfortable right away. But something that we teach here that's very unique, and I think this is kind of what makes us special, is we teach you soft skills. because when I went to school the first time for graphic arts, I learned how to be a graphic designer, with the hard skills. But then when it came to, you know, perhaps talking to clients or negotiating a price with a freelance job, those are things I never learned. So I was kind of learning the hard way. A lot of times when I end up, maybe I end up messing up the job a little bit, or losing the client because the price wasn't right. But beyond that, I mean, we teach here soft skills. This includes working in a team environment because you are learning how to work um, together on real apps. And like I mentioned before, these, all these apps are for most part group efforts. So you're going to learn how to work with teams, perhaps some difficult personalities. You're going to learn how to take criticism and apply it and make a better version of the app. You'll be dealing with clients, something that I think is critical when it comes to hearing what they have to say and understanding it, and also being able to communicate them efficiently. And then deadlines. So the deadlines are there's always gonna be deadlines when it comes to app development, and this teaches you how to organize your time and meet those deadlines. On top of that, we're going to show you some resume building, some portfolio building, some networking, how to communicate with people in kind of your field, and then also we have a reverse job fair that we put on at the end of each year. So for reasons people may consider Scott Community College, this route versus a traditional four-year route is it's a little more affordable. You'll be able to, save some money, being at a community college, but also perhaps you can stay, at someplace a little more affordable, whether it be with your parents or, whatever the case may be. Also, this is a 2-year program that gets you workforce ready. Whereas a lot of other programs are 4 years, and then you have to build up that kind of resume, or build up that resume and that experience to even get the first real job. Like I mentioned, we build up your soft skills and get you ready for the workforce. Stay close to home, which I know I sure enjoyed. Build connections with local companies because it is a community college. You will have a lot of local companies that want to come in and support community college. But also, this is, I mean, for me, I felt like I was really studying something I love. I would do my work at school, and then I come home. I want to work a little more because I'm like, oh, I really enjoy what I'm doing, and I feel like this is, this kind of field, the AVR field, is something special in that. Typically, people don't come to AVR without some kind of passion. I mean, I know none of the students I've met have come here yet who didn't have a passion for whether it be video games, art, programming. I mean, it's a whole broad passions involved in this field. So this kind of brings me to our final point, which is AVR 102. So AVR 102 is the prerequisite for the AVR Academy. What this is the foundations of AVR. So what I'm going to be teaching here will be, how kind of to get your feet wet to make you feel comfortable. So once you finish this course, you will be able to feel comfortable jumping into the full AVR Academy in the fall. This is a free course to high school students. So if you are going into 9th grade through 12th grade this fall, you will be able to qualify for this course for free. This is an online class, so it will be taught completely remotely, given the current circumstances. We will be, some of the software we're using for this remote version is going to be slightly different, but we did make sure to research the software to ensure that it works very similar to what you'll learn in the classroom. So you'll be able to transition really easy, because what we're teaching are the concepts, the foundational concepts that you'll be able to build on real fast. So with that being said, the computer requirements for this course, really any computer with a web browser, because we are using web-based software for this class this summer. And in that, I mean, I've tested all these programs on the Chromebook. So really, I mean, if you have a high-end gaming computer or even a Chromebook, that's perfectly fine. You'll be able to get the same experience regardless of what you're able to use. With that being said, you also need a 3-button mouse. So just the simple right, left, and middle button will do. And then um, you'll need some internet, some reliable internet, so that way you can attend the Zoom meetings and make sure that you're able to use the software. So a few things I want to touch on. Why should you take this course? I mean, this is a great opportunity to really kind of get an idea if AVR is a field for you. I mean, this is a very new field. Like I said, in 2016, most people didn't realize what AR really could do until Pokemon Go came out. Did people really start to understand the power of AR? So that right now, what's happening is there is a lack of AVR developers, but especially this last 3 months, we learned how important it is to be able to work remotely, but also how to communicate and train remotely. So what's going to happen is you'll see a rise of a need for the AR and VR developers. And if this is something you enjoy, then you'll be right there in the front lines, ready to go once they're looking for AR and VR developers as this technology continues to blossom. So this is a great way to get an idea if you like it, because it's only a 4-week course, and I can go on to this next one. So this will start in June 29th, Monday, June 29th, and it'll be Monday through Thursday, and we go from 12 o'clock to 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday. And so the way this kind of works, and I know 4 hours might seem kind of overwhelming, but we'll be doing plenty of learning and a lot of hands-on activities. So this will move pretty quickly, but also the first hour will be dedicated to kind of the lecture, me demonstrating these concepts and how to use these concepts. And then, I'll be explaining some, the assignments. And then we'll have about 2 hours where you'll be working on these concepts, and I'll be available for guidance, but I'll be giving you a challenge that then you will be trying to either whether it be create or recreate what I had challenged you to make, or perhaps program something. So you'll be given this challenge that way, and then we'll meet back in class for the last hour, and we'll go over the solution. We'll cover any additional questions you may have, and kind of just touch base there. And so, so I do understand that 4 hours for some may seem long, but really it moves pretty quickly, and we're gonna be having a lot of fun too. So, so the first week we'll dig in a little deeper about the AVR technology. We'll kind of touch about more the project development and what goes into the pipeline of AR and VR. Week 2 we'll start using 3D modeling software. And so I will walk you through the basic concepts of 3D modeling and how to use these tools and create believable 3D models. And that'll include animation and texturing as well. Week 3, we're going to get started on C# programming. So with this, we'll start off by just learning the fundamentals, and then some terms and some ways to work with C# and programming in general. And then we'll actually go into making our own personal RPG. Just a real short role player game using a text-based C# program. Week 4 is when we get into the game engine development. And so we will be using Amazon Sumerian, which is a web-based game engine. And it works very similar to Unity. And we'll actually start to take everything we learned in the first 3 weeks and start to apply it to this game engine to kind of round off everything. So then when you're finished, you'll have an application that you can say you made. And so this is I think this is going to be a real fun 4-week course. It's going to be really engaging, and it's going to be it's going to be something that you're going to learn a lot. And and I feel like once you are complete with it, you'll feel ready to go. For one, you'll know if you want to do this this program altogether. You'll know if AVR is kind of your taste. But yeah, and I think also you'll feel comfortable moving right into the program if that is what you choose to do. You'll feel comfortable moving right in there and be able to just mix right in and get learning even more, pushing those fundamentals we're learning to the next level. So if this is something you're interested in, there are a number of ways to get the information here. So we have the coordinator for the concurrent curriculums for high school students, Anthony, and his information is on the screen. And also I believe you can get that also on the website. And then also we have our high school counselors. Each high school counselor in the area should know what the AVR Academy is. We've communicated with them, and so if you are interested in taking this, you can just reach out to your high school counselor, and they will be able to get you the form to sign and sign you up right there. So now if you're on the high school end. Now if you're on the college, if you're not a high school student anymore, and you're a college student looking to take this, for one, I want to note that the college, the college is not going to be part of the free course for the high school students, but so if you contact your college advisor, if you are currently already in the EICC, at that college, you would contact your advisor, or if you have not yet signed up for EICC, you would contact the admissions coordinator, and they just have you fill out an application, and it'd be on your way right there. So the deadline to sign up for this class is Thursday, June 25th, and and if you have any questions as far as the class goes, if you're curious about any particular aspect of the class, feel free to contact me. My contact information is on the screen. I'd be happy to even just have a discussion about AVR if that's what you're looking for. So, I think really with that, it kind of wraps up the AVR 102 Academy that we're offering this summer.
We do not have any questions. We had somebody who just came in a few minutes ago who asked how to get more info, and I gave him your email address and phone number, so hopefully he will get in contact with you.
Okay.
So I think we're good.
Awesome. Let me see. Okay. All right. Well, thank you again for all this and having me on and stuff.